You're listening to The Phillip Jordan Show.
Welcome in, everybody, to the YouTube channel and live on Facebook. This is a watch party, live watch along, whatever you want to call it, here on a Saturday night. Auburn and Texas A&M in Jordan here. They're about to kick off. Alabama and Oklahoma, they are scheduled to kick off at 6:37. So we'll be watching both of those games. I've got the Alabama game right here on my laptop, right here beside this computer. I got the Auburn game going on TV, and over here on my right-hand side, I have my iPad going, and we will be keeping up with just random games through that tonight. Right now, I have the Army-Notre Dame game on there, but as we go through, if that game kind of gets sideways, we'll maybe jump over to LSU Vanderbilt, just keeping up with games, give my thoughts on what's going on throughout the college football world here on this Saturday night. We're in the next to last week of the regular season of college football, so it can be a lot of fun. Got my handy coffee here as well. Of course, there may be a little bit more shift to Auburn. Obviously, I cover Auburn for last word on college football, but we will be keeping up what Alabama's doing as well. And I don't know, we may put this up as a podcast episode too. So, hey, if you have a comment or question throughout this whole broadcast, we could go to 10:30. These games starting at 6:30. We could go to 10:30, but if you have a question or a comment, post it in the comment section. I will check it out. I will monitor all that, and we're just going to have a conversation. We're going to have a good time watching college football, and that's what we're going to do. First time doing this. I've actually been wanting to do this for some time, so we'll see how it goes. It does look like Auburn and Texas A&M are about to kick off. This is just kind of a wild game here looking at it. Now, Auburn's 4-6, A&M, obviously trying not to look ahead to next week when they do play Texas. You want trying to position himself maybe for an SEC championship berth, obviously for the college football playoff. And Auburn is just getting the ball first to start this game. So, but Auburn, Jordan Hare, nighttime, 6:30 kickoff. What can they do here? Like nice return for Auburn to open things up with Jeremiah Cobb, getting Auburn out between the 30 and 40-yard line there. So, good start for Auburn here with their game. Of course, I will not be doing play-by-play for this. We'll be just kind of doing this. And like I said, comments throughout the night. What you guys say? We actually got some already here on the show. Wes Pruitt, of course, over at 4-Star Sports Media. Wes, the thoughts on Florida swamping the Rebels. I told people this week, I thought that Florida could give Ole Miss a game. Now, I thought Ole Miss would win. Just because I thought up front they would give Florida some problems. But look, the Florida defense played well. Jackson Dart, 2 interceptions in the game. He had multiple ones there on that final drive, only one counted. But, yeah, now Ole Miss, you got to think, okay, with a third loss, they've got to be eliminated now from the playoff. I mean, it's just you lost to Kentucky, you lost to LSU, now you've lost to Florida. Not great losses. And the West always also said not a good start for Army, down 14-0 early. I figured that was going to be a tough matchup for Army in this one, just because the military academy teams are not always – how am I going to say this without sounding like I'm being disrespectful? They're not always up to par or at the same level up front. And that's usually where we see some issues. We saw it when Navy, undefeated, went and played Notre Dame. We're going to see it here too as well. Auburn is close to midfield. They just had a 3rd-and-1 first down. So Auburn is moving the ball on their drive. So good start there for Auburn in their game. And thank you, Wes, for those comments. And I really hope you guys keep on coming here throughout tonight and give me somebody to talk to and all that good stuff. Like I said, first time doing this. Actually, we may do this again. Brandon Eisman is supposed to join me on Tuesday night. We're going to live react to the college football playoff rankings if you want to check that out too as well. But we're rolling along here. Alabama and Oklahoma has not started yet. So, of course, that was the other game we're going to be keeping an eye on here. Auburn trying to get in plus territory. I saw Auburn play last week, too. I went to the Louisiana Monroe game, and I liked some things I saw. I still think with Peyton Thorne, some indecisiveness. I think with him, he just does not anticipate people getting open. He he waits for them to get open, and I think that really slows down the offense and just letting the ball go, letting the ball loose. Going into this game, I felt like the Auburn defense could keep them in this one, but my biggest question, and it will be as this game goes on, is how can the Auburn offensive line protect Thorne and just give him enough time to get it to the receivers? Yeah, they had a good run there by Jarquez on that run there for Auburn. Um, let's see. All right, Alabama, and at least the broadcast over here on ESPN3, it seems to be starting for Alabama and Oklahoma. I don't see this being much of a game, the Alabama-Oklahoma game. I think Alabama's going to take care of business in this one. Oh, we get a good look at Kurt Herbstreit and Chris Fowler there, starting this one up. Oklahoma's defense is good, but their offense just isn't there. It just isn't where it needs to be. Okay. Auburn still moving the ball on their drive. I just looking at some scores throughout the day too. Of course, this is one to keep up with Boise State and Wyoming. Boise's up 7-3 in that one early first quarter. Utah and Iowa State. Is Iowa State still in the Big 12 race? We'll see. Penn State with a narrow win over Minnesota today. All right, so A&M just got called offsides and Thorne. Oh, great catch there by Cam Coleman. Maybe he can capitalize and really continue some momentum from what he did with last week. Yeah, they call all sides free play, and then Peyton Thorne just took a deep throw there to Cam Coleman. So Auburn is set up inside the 5. Looks like they got them marked at the 2-yard line. So Auburn's in business in this one. Early momentum in this game. All right, they give him Thorne, and he took a shot to Malcolm Simmons there. A&M broke it up though. And yeah, Notre Dame with that 14-0 lead right now against Army. So I may not be with this one very long. I may switch it to Vanderbilt and LSU here shortly. Alabama and Oklahoma again has not kicked off. They are in commercial right now heading into that one. Now, we will not be doing any Big Ten after dark tonight. We will not be staying up with the USC UCLA game. I'm just sorry. We probably when the Alabama and Auburn games go final, or at least the SEC games finish up, we'll see what's going on with Vanderbilt and LSU at that time. Then we will shut this thing down, and I will probably take a little break at halftime of one of these games, just rest my voice up, which I do have plenty of water and got the coffee here to keep me going. What's been some of your guys' thoughts? I mean, I know we got some people checking in. We got a couple of people watching live with us on Today of College Football. How shocked were you guys that Ole Miss lost to Florida? I mean, I thought again that Florida would give them a game, but I was pleasantly surprised that Florida came out with a victory. But I think with Florida now, so you've gotten to your 6th win. So you're now 6-5 on the year. You're going to beat Florida State next week, 7-5. You're going to go to a bowl game. It would be huge for the program to win the bowl game. You get to 8-5, then you would go into next year. Well, first you go into the offseason, the spring with a lot of momentum. You go into next year momentum. But the thing about it, if you're Billy Napier, because going into this year, a lot of people wonder, will he get fired? Will this be the year? And now with Florida, when you look at where they're going to be going next year, okay, you got to build on that momentum. You got to continue. And obviously, you would think this is going to help in recruiting and all that. And I hate to say, you never like a player getting hurt, but in a weird sense, Graham Mertz going down and no longer being the quarterback may have helped Florida a little bit. It's really helped DJ Lagway grow as a quarterback. And that's back-to-back weeks. You beat LSU, now you beat Ole Miss. And like I said, they should beat Florida State next week. And Florida did some good things against Georgia. I mean, who knows how that game would have went had Lagway not got hurt so early and they had to go to Warner there as basically your third-string quarterback that we know is not getting a lot of reps. Looks like we're getting closer to Alabama and Oklahoma kicking off. Looking around the SEC, and that's what we'll do here too. We'll look through and go through some scores. You had Texas beat Kentucky. Thought Kentucky early on. Kentucky's offense is just bad, and that's a 4-7 season for them. Losing season for Mark Stoops and crew. Then you have, of course, we just mentioned Florida beating Ole Miss. Georgia 59-21 over UMass. Slow start for Georgia in that one, but they picked things up and they did what they were supposed to. Carson Beck 297 yards, 4 touchdowns. Tennessee took care of business against UTEP 56-0. South Carolina took care of Wofford 56-12. The North Sellers had a good game, 307 and 3 touchdowns. The Auburn A&M games in commercial break too. Missouri beat Mississippi State 39-20. So now that puts Mississippi State at 2-9. They'll have their season finale next week against Ole Miss. So what kind of energy Ole Miss is going to have going to the Egg Bowl on Friday next week. And that puts Missouri at 8-3. So next week have a chance at that 9th win. And Arkansas got bowl eligible with a 35-14 win over Louisiana Tech. So that's just kind of what's been going on there with that with the SEC today. All right, now Auburn and A&M are back to playing on the field. Let's see. This is 2nd down. Auburn's got the ball at the 2-yard line. They tried a pass play for the commercial break that was incomplete to one and only Malcolm Simmons. We'll see what they do here. I mean, you got to run the ball with Jarquez, right? I mean, that's been the biggest thing. And they do that, and looks like he got stopped. He did. Way he's looking right now. Yeah, he got stopped. I know he did touchdown. They give Auburn the touchdown. So Auburn takes the lead 6-0 there to start. Jarquez Hunter with a 2-yard rushing touchdown to open up the game. All right, Alabama and Oklahoma have started, and Alabama does have their own defense first. And Bauer Sharp with a play there for the Sooners. No, that wasn't Bauer. That was quarterback Jackson. I don't know what I'm thinking. But we do have a Dothan native in Bauer Sharp playing quarterback, playing tight end there for Oklahoma. Jackson Arnold. So they're going with the run game with Jackson Arnold. I do think he's the quarterback that gives Oklahoma the best opportunity at winning. And again, I'll say this whenever I see viewers come in and out. But again, you can leave your comments on here on the show. Anything college football related, we will answer it here on the show. I'm kind of just curious how many people tune in, and we'll comment on the show. And as we are going forward, first time doing this, and really just decided to do this late this week just to kind of have some fun and just check out these college football games. We got an injury on the Alabama side of things, it looks like here with their game with Oklahoma. It looks like Army is moving the ball a little bit here on Notre Dame. Okay, Auburn's getting set to kick back off. And again, I forgot down at the bottom if you're looking to add a question or comment. I mean, obviously, Alabama and Auburn related is the first thing, but also anything is pretty cool if you ask. So, yeah, interesting how Auburn's going to deal with Marcel Reed, I think. and to read all his play, and he can make plays down the field with his arm too. That's the thing with him. Just don't get so sucked in on what he's going to be doing against you on the run game, but also make sure to pay attention to what he can do throwing the football. And it kind of interesting how the Auburn defense just plays here. Obviously, they're going to have a lot of momentum because of what the offense just did come out and score. And that's been a rarity for Auburn this year, for the Auburn offense to come out early on and score early, especially in these games. I mean, against New Mexico and last week against Louisiana Monroe, the offense was consistent mostly. But in these, obviously, when you're playing teams that are either equal talent, close to talent, or better talent, Auburn has not done that. But I also think you can put it on Hugh Freeze too at times as well. All right, Auburn flushed out Reed on the play there, but the receivers able to pick up and get the first down. Again, questions are very appreciated here on this live stream. All right, we've already flipped it around, and Alabama is on offense now to open up the game. All right, Auburn now giving up a couple first downs to Texas A&M on this opening drive of theirs. So I don't really think Auburn wants to get in a scoring match with anybody. So that's not something they want to do either. All right. Okay. A&M on a first down looks like they're going 3 wide. Let's see what Reed's got here. Auburn again. They over pursued him. They over pursued on the play. He picked up a big gain there. He didn't get a first down, but he got an 8-9 yard. You can't do that. You got to have, rush lane. Got to stay in your spot. You cannot over pursue him when you're rushing a passer. If you do that, he's going to make you pay. And that's something Auburn's going to deal with next week too when you play Alabama and Jalen Milroe. And speaking of, that's what Jalen Milroe just picked up a few yards there on a replay. So there you go, another first down for the Aggies on that one. We got a War Eagle from Charles McNally. Thank you for checking us out tonight, Charles, here on Saturday Night College Football here on Phillip Jordan Sports Facebook and YouTube channels. Appreciate you doing that. Charles always one that shares the post and all that good stuff. We do have some likes. Thank you to Brian Holiday, Michael Dubusky, Wes Pruitt, who you heard from, and Terry Biggs for liking the stream so far. And I know people may come in and out because obviously you're watching games, so you're basically watching a stream of me watching games. So saw that a lot of the YouTubers do this. I was like, let's give this a shot. Let's just kind of have some fun and just talk ball for a Saturday evening. All right, they went back to commercial again for Oklahoma and Alabama. So the ABC is going to get their money's worth tonight, it seems like, with the commercials on that side of things. All right, that was an interesting thing. You could obviously tell Marcel Reed was directing somebody to go deep, but where he threw it, there was absolutely nobody there. So a 3rd and 8. Can Auburn get a stop and force a punt and get the ball back to the offense? That's a big play for Auburn. You got to continue that momentum and that positivity you had. Army is moving the ball. It seems it's early in the second quarter. All right, that was good there. Auburn pass rush got to Marcel Reed. Look, A&M may be in field goal range. We'll see what they do with this. Be interesting. Yeah, they're going to kick a field goal. This is a 54-yard field goal attempt for A&M. And he pushed it. He pushed it, so he did miss. So Auburn bend, but they did not break on that drive. And they would get the ball back with really good field position, too, on their next drive. So let's see what Hugh Freeze and company has in store here. I would say a lot more Jacquez Hunter and a lot more throwing the ball to Cam Coleman would be a good recipe. Okay. Army just got on the board. They just scored. Let's see if they can kick the extra point to make this game interesting. But can they keep that up? Can they kind of create some momentum for themselves on here? It's quite an interesting day, too. I'm going to bring up a graphic I had. Now, obviously, this is what the rankings were coming into this week. Of course, you had Oregon at 1, you had Ohio State at 2, Texas 3, Penn State 4, Indiana 5, Notre Dame 6, Alabama 7, Miami 8, Ole Miss 9, Georgia 10, Tennessee 11, Boise State at 12. And then your next 4 was SMU, BYU, Texas A&M, and Colorado. So, and congrats SMU today for clinching a spot in the ACC title game. So, Oregon, Ohio State, those two should stay the same. Texas, I think Texas stay the same too. Penn State, close win against Minnesota today. Obviously, Indiana will drop, so Ole Miss will probably drop out. But will they keep Indiana in? Should Indiana stay in? That's an important factor on that. If they will actually stay into the rankings where they are. So let's post this up on social media. Okay, Oklahoma just got a big run. They are in Alabama territory. So I posted over on social media. With today's loss to Ohio State, should Indiana drop out of the top 12? Um, you know, especially when you look at it with Penn State having the one loss. I mean, we know where they're going to be at, but it's just that schedule. That schedule has really, really hurt Indiana, and today's performance did not help. We're back from commercial break on the Auburn game. They are back. Auburn's got the ball, the 36-yard line on their side of the field. Not much there for Auburn handing the ball off. See, Oklahoma is with they got a first down. No, Alabama got the ball back. That's what's going on here. Like we had a turnover of sorts. Yep, like a fumble. Yep, Oklahoma fumbled the ball as they were moving the ball into Alabama territory. So Lawson with the pickup for the Alabama defense on that one. Oh, and Cam Coleman, I just spoke of it. Cam Coleman with a 63-yard touchdown reception. We're up 13-0. All right, so I'm going to bring a comment up here on the board. Troy Hicks says roll tide. I know he's happy about that, but Troy told me this week that Auburn would beat Texas A&M. So he called his shot. You know, I'm always trying to call my shots on some of these games that nobody believes is going to happen. Well, Troy told me this week, actually, this past Sunday night, over there at Texas Roadhouse. He said, Phillip, I think Auburn's going to beat Texas A&M, and right now Troy's looking good on that prediction. Auburn is now up 14-0 over Texas A&M in the finale there at Jordan Hare Stadium, because Auburn will go to Tuscaloosa next week, which has not been pleasant for Auburn. Auburn has not won in Tuscaloosa since 2010 during the comeback. Hey, congratulations to Nebraska today. Nebraska bowl eligible, first time in some time. So congratulations to them getting that done. They'll be going to a bowl. I know bowls will not be as popular as they have been in the past, but still, good program going in the right direction. Ole Miss is going to be disappointed going into their bowl game. They were all about playoff. With all the money Lane Kiffin and company spent in the portal and NIL recruiting and all that stuff. All right, Notre Dame is moving the ball once again. I'll let you guys also note Monday on the Wiregrass High School Football Report, I'll be once again joined by Elba head coach Mark Sieving. They beat Georgiana 62-20, so now they will be going to semifinals in 1A to take on Maplesville, and Houston Academy won on Friday night too as well, and they move on to the semifinals. So let's check out the Wiregrass High School Football Report on Monday morning. It should be up by 6 a.m. All right, Alabama with a 3rd and 16. Milrow going deep and hit Bernard. Big play near midfield for the Alabama offense. So big pass play there for Alabama. Right now, Alabama has passed midfield on that drive. Yeah, occasional, I will be talking 4 hours straight here. So there'll be some silence here during the stream from time to time. Cam Coleman, 3 receptions, 97 yards, and a touchdown so far in the game. He's kind of living up to what everybody thought he was going to be. Alabama's moving the ball as well. Now, and I've been this way with my writing too with Auburn. You look at what they're doing right now, and they're playing well, but you kind of say, okay, when's when's the negativity going to start? When's Auburn going to start messing up and they're going to blow the game? Kind of got to start wondering that a little bit with them. Man, ABC is going to be mad if A&M loses this game too, because obviously they were probably ready to really build up at that Texas A&M game. Oh yeah, Kim Coleman was just open. There was no shot there for the A&M defense. Coleman was originally committed to A&M, but when Jimbo Fisher was let go, fired, whatever you want to use, he reopened his commitment, and Auburn Tigers got him, which they should have. I mean, he right in their backyard. They're in Phoenix City. All right, Alabama's facing a third down. They're out about the 41-yard line on Oklahoma side of the field. All right, he connects, big pass play to touchdown. Touchdown, Alabama. Ryan Williams, I don't know if you knew this, but he was 17 years old. He scores a touchdown. So Alabama takes the first lead in that one, 6-0. It looked like he was going to go out of bounds around the 10, but he gets a 41-yard touchdown reception to put Alabama on the board to give them a 6-0 lead. Just watching the replay of he got behind the defender. Man, he was awfully close to being out of bounds there after he caught the ball. I'm sure they're going to look at that, see if he was out or not. Did he step out? I think he did. He stepped out. That wasn't a touchdown, Alabama. Nope. That's coming back. I mean, they picked up the first down, but yeah, that looks out of bounds to me. It looked like his feet were on the white. So I did go on social media and ask, um, with today's loss to Ohio State, should Indiana drop out top 12? David Summers, uh, radio legend here in the Dothan area, you probably wouldn't have dropped OSU with one loss, and they didn't, but it was against Oregon. You know, we also need to all agree. A lot of the teams, they're also this is a TV show too. They're going to put the brands up there. I mean, we just know this. I'm not saying it's impossible if you're not a brand name team, but it's just you just really just got to focus on it. Indiana today was a big day for them. They didn't have to beat Ohio State, but it needed to be a great competitive game. Came down to the wire, and it just was not that. They were dominated up front. The Ohio State receivers were too much for the corners, the secondary. A&M just moved the ball down over the middle, down the field. So they're moving the ball once again. The last drive for Auburn, it was kind of like a bend but don't break situation. So we'll see if Auburn can do something there. A little replay there from A&M. Kind of waiting to see, did they give A&M the first down? 31. So we'll see what Auburn does here. Will they hold them? Yeah, A&M picks up the first down on that one. Yeah. So again, it's like A&M is having some success moving the ball against Auburn these first two possessions here. Just last drive, Auburn basically Bama didn't break. They forced a field goal, and then of course that was missed by Texas A&M. So we'll see what Auburn. Well, they're kind of like in that same area right now with A&M having the first down. So we'll see if Auburn does it once again. But will A&M kick the ball? Of course, we all know that all dictates on where you stand, like how far, what's the downage, all that stuff. They had a shot at a sack on Reed, but they just weren't able to get to him. He's just so elusive. And Auburn picks them off. It was a bad throw by Reed, missed the receiver, and Auburn got the interception. Jerry Thompson got the number one, got the interception there for Auburn. So another big play for Auburn. Again, A&M showed some things, moved some ball down the field. Auburn not having the best luck at containing Reed at times, but on the throw, let's see on the replay. Where did it kind of? Yeah, he just missed this guy. It looks like he may have overshot his receiver. He did. It was a bad play, and it was a bad throw, and it was off a little bit. So now Auburn has the ball with 1 minute, 8 seconds. They start this drive on their own 12-yard line. So don't make a mistake. Don't give A&M any opportunity to think, okay, we can keep this thing. We can get back in it. They go to replay, and Peyton Thorne keeps it. So so Auburn up 14-0 right now over Texas A&M. So if Auburn gets to 5-6, I just say if they continue playing well like this, which I'm probably jinxing the team. What kind of confidence or positivity do they go into the Iron Bowl next week? All right, Alabama is lined up to kick a field goal. Graham Nicholson, he's 5-7 on the year, according to ESPN. A short field goal. I mean, this is like an extra point. He should make this. Alabama hasn't had the misfortune of kickers as we've seen in the past. All right, Auburn's going to 3rd and 7. All right, Alabama gets the field goal. They're up 3-0, 22-yard field goal there for Nicholson. Kalen DeBoer's not in a T-shirt tonight. Just going to kind of update you on that too as well. All right, we're at the end of the first quarter. Auburn up 14-0 over Texas A&M. So fireworks, light show going on for Auburn. This is their first, and obviously it will be their only home SEC night game. All their SEC home games have been during the day. So 2:30. They did play an SEC night game, but it was at Lexington. So while they're in commercial, let's look around. All the games we're keeping up with are in commercial right now. Of course, I said Alabama just kicked the field goal, go 3-0. LSU and Vanderbilt are both tied at 7 with 8:17 left there in the first quarter. Just going around the top 25. Notre Dame up 14-7 over Army. Wyoming is up 10-7 over Boise with 7:38 left in the second. Iowa State's up 7-3 over Utah with a 14-28 in the second quarter there. Some finals. Of course, I mentioned this, but Penn State defeated Minnesota 26-25. Miami defeated Wake Forest 42-14. Florida defeated Ole Miss in an upset 24-17. The Gators are now bowl eligible and should get 7 wins next week playing Florida State. Florida State to win today against Charleston Southern, by the way. Georgia defeated UMass 59-21 to get to 9-2. Tennessee defeated UTEP. They'll be playing Vanderbilt next week, 56-0. SMU clinched a spot in the ACC title game and to get to 10-1 on the year. They beat Virginia 33-7. Arizona State in a close game beat BYU 28-23. Kansas upset Colorado to give them their third loss of the season, second in conference play, 37-21. Clemson defeated the Citadel 51-14. South Carolina defeated Wofford 56-12. Missouri defeated Mississippi State 39-20, and Illinois defeated Rutgers 38-31. Let's look around the Sun Belt for today. Troy is down 30-44 right now with 2 minutes left against Louisiana. Troy defense just did not come to play today. Georgia State and Texas State are tied at 21 in the second quarter with 5:12 left there. In the first quarter, 3:05 left. Marshall is up 3-0 on Old Dominion. Appalachian State defeated James Madison 34-20. Arkansas State defeated Louisiana Monroe 28-21. South Alabama, boo, defeated Southern Miss 35-14, and Georgia Southern defeated Coastal Carolina 26-6. And just looking at the standings in the Sun Belt, Marshall, they're playing right now, but they are ahead on the east side. They have a 5-1 record. Georgia Southern has a 5-2 record. The Raging Cajuns of Louisiana looks like they're going to go to 6-1, but they're 5-1. Arkansas State and South Alabama and Texas State are all behind them with 2 losses apiece over there on that. We got a like on the page. Rhett Baxley. Thank you, Rhett. If you're watching, leave a comment, please. ESPN's got a stat that says Texas A&M 7 straight losses while trailing by 14 points. Alabama, like I said, they're at 3-0. All right, so Auburn is facing a 3rd and 7. They need to just pick this up. They need to kind of get closer. At least they're going to punt back to A&M. All right, they picked up first down. Jarquez was open over the middle for Auburn. So Auburn is moving the ball. Notre Dame has a 21-7 lead now over Army. All right, flag on the play. Let's see. Probably on Auburn here. It was before. Yeah, false start on the Tigers. Can't do that. You cannot have those kind of mistakes. Can't do it. All right, so Oklahoma starts. They're about 36-yard line on their side of the field. We'll shove a pass. All right, we got another like on the channel. I appreciate you liking that. All right, let's see what Mr. Thorne's got up his sleeves here. They run the ball, keep it with Jarquez. He probably picked up a few yards. So they're at a 1st and 15 because of the penalty. So he might have got it back to the original line of scrimmage there. No, he didn't. Almost, but 2nd and 11 coming up. Auburn's moving fast now. Another catch by, this is Condre Lambert-Smith. I cannot say his name. He stumbled a little bit there, but Auburn is now in the red zone. Auburn is threatening now to go up 17-0 and 21-0. Let's see. I mean, Auburn has come into play. Which has been at all year, Hugh Freeze. But yeah, Auburn is right there. I mean, they're at the 15-yard line. So, and honestly, if Lambert Smith did not stumble there, Auburn probably scores the touchdown. Oh, he's wide open. Touchdown, another touchdown for Cam Coleman. Auburn is up 20-0. Uh, for Auburn's sake, I guess I need to do a live stream every time Auburn plays. 20-0 right now over Texas A&M. Oh, my question I had posted earlier about would the Hall also should end drop 12-5. He said, Rhett Baxley said, let's see what else happens today, but I'm leaning no. Okay. Okay. You know, we're all open to all this kind of stuff. We got 73 views so far, it seems. I know people hate it on Facebook when you do highlight, but we're going to highlight. We're going to get more attention on this. Yes, that is me doing that. So let's jump over to the other Facebook page, see what anything's going on over there. Again, I wasn't like expecting like a massive show out for this, but still. If Elon Musk did not make you have to have blue verified, I would have been all live on Twitter right now or X, but I am not going to pay to have a blue check mark on my name. So we do not do live on X anymore. If anybody was wondering on that, should we have one person watching? So this is question is for you: should I punt on the Notre Dame Army game and put my iPad on the LSU Vanderbilt game? Should I or should I not do that? I need to know this. Somebody tell me. All right, we got 3 viewers now in. Again, if you have any questions about today's games, feel free to post below in the comments. I'll be happy to respond to your questions and everything else. We're it's an open floor. Any questions allowed. College football related, only college football. If you do anything political, I'm not going to respond to it. We are at commercial with the Auburn game, but at 21-0. Did not see this one coming. I thought Auburn would make this game close. I pretty much figured they'd blow it at the end like they normally did. They do. But wow, it's wow. All right. We got a comment from Troy Hicks. Your Tigers looking good. Uh again, Troy called it when we were having some conversations. Actually, earlier today we were talking ball, and then early in the week he also said All right. So again, Notre Dame is up 21-7 over Army. Kind of like you expected it. Of course, now ESPN decides to update us on the game. I already got this covered. I've already got this covered, ESPN. You do not have to update us. I am keeping everybody up to date on what is going on. But Auburn at 21-0. So now kind of interesting. How does A&M change their philosophy? Did they get away from the run game? We're still early. Yeah, I mean, we're at the 13:04 mark in the second quarter. So yeah, I appreciate everybody that has liked it so far. They got Auburn with a face mask. This is where their downfall begins. I'm going to say this: if Notre Dame makes this thing 28-7, I'm flipping the iPad to LSU Vanderbilt. All right. So Auburn get first down. So again, but A&M has moved the ball. They're down 21-0, but Auburn, A&M has moved it. So the Alabama Oklahoma game for people are watching. Just want to do a commercial. And we're about to hit the 2-minute timeout. What a college football call that a 2-minute warning. It is what it is. I mean, come on. Let's get real here. All right, there's a flag on the play. It looks like A&M had picked up some good yardage, but all right, and Troy loses 51-30 tonight. Chandler Fields, big game for him, quarterback for Louisiana. He was 18-24 for 323, 2 touchdowns. Caldwell, quarterback for Troy, was 26-42. He had 230 yards. So I think Troy has showed some good things toward the end. It would have been kind of cool for them to win out, get to 5-7. Best they can do is 4-8 now. But gives Coach Parker some momentum going into next year. All right, we're starting the second quarter now with Alabama at 3-0. And it feels like if Oklahoma could just get out of their own way, they'd be a whole lot more successful. So the penalty was on A&M. I missed what it was, but it's 2nd and 19 for A&M. And they just picked up most of it. They're probably about 5 or 6 yards away from a first down now. Auburn played really soft coverage on that play. Speaking of their defense, DJ Durkin's done a really good job this year. I think he's done an admirable job with this defense. So you're looking at a 3rd and 7 for A&M. Will they continue? And they pick up the first down. Just too soft a coverage for Auburn. I mean, you're giving too much of a cushion for the receivers. I mean, yeah. Can't do that. You cannot act like you're comfortable. All right, there goes Reed again, running around. Auburn losing them. He got about 2 yards there. So, on my question about Indiana, Terry Bixby, yeah, strength of schedule should mean the most. I'm not in disagreement with you there. I mean, but I think what big these conferences are, just the scheduling. You can't play everybody. It's just you're gonna have teams like that where it's just they're not gonna play a tough schedule as some of the other teams. There's no such thing as a balanced schedule in college football. Wow, we've reached an hour. Dun dun dun. Dun. And Notre Dame has now got down to the 1 yard line. Auburn is 0-7 versus ranked teams under Hugh Freeze. All right, I got somebody tuning in. Of course, again, if you have a question or for the show, just post in the comments. I will read it. All right, so now Auburn will be putting A&M in a 3rd and 10 situation. So, question again: should I switch the iPad from Notre Dame Army to the Vanderbilt LSU game? A&M picks up another first down. They get back to the Auburn 30. So, all said, A&M down 21-0. They have moved the ball. Just saying that once again. Yes, Auburn now looking at a 1st and 10. Second and goal for Notre Dame, right on the 1 yard line. So they're about to punch it in a score. All right, so we're looking at second. You got to think though at A&M, unless it's just an outrageous 3rd down. Okay, so it's a third, not too long. It's a manageable for now. And Oklahoma with the ball in Alabama's side of the field, but can they add any points? All right, so Auburn again. It's really been bend but on break so far. After this next play for Auburn, I will and Notre Dame just scored, so we're about to flip that. Okay, he's short. Marcel Reed's short, probably less than a yard. Brandon Eisman, what's up, man? Enjoying these games. Cam Coleman cannot be stopped. And Jalen Milroe is trying to put Alabama's back. Good games today so far. Yeah, I mean, last game and a half. No one's been able to stop Cam Coleman from anything he's been able to do. And Milroe's just trying. He's an electrifying player. He can do that. He can carry team on his back at times. So you got a 4th and 1. Okay. Did Auburn stop them? It's close. It looked like to me on that play, it looked like A&M moved before the ball was snapped. All right, now they're giving A&M the first down, 1st and goal. I mean, it was close. I mean, it was right there at it. Brandon has another question. All right, Hugh Freeze is not happy. He is not happy with what just conspired there. Maybe I'm wrong. I guess I'm wrong, but that was very close. I think he got the first down, but barely. Just barely. Now, I'm sure they're looking at this. Jim Peters, I'm in the stadium, Philip. It is nuts in here. I'm sure it is, especially after a touchdown. I'm sure it went to. I'm sure there's some groaning going on a little bit too with that play. Jim, if you're still with us right now in the stream, tell us. Do you think did that look like a first down for A&M? And I don't know. Maybe it was just me. Maybe they just timed it up great. It seemed like to me A&M moved before the ball was snapped. Just my opinion. Just the way it looked watching it live. I don't know. Brent Eisman had another question. Thoughts on Florida State storming the field after beating FCS teams, Charleston Southern? That's not a good look. There wasn't that many people there, though, so it wouldn't like to have to worry about anything. But yeah, I mean, I had the game on for a little bit earlier, and yeah, it wasn't good. I mean, that was a one win team there in FCS. So yeah, not a good look for Florida State. But you got to get the wins where you can get them. Getting their 2nd win of the year, and then they're going to lose next week, and they'll be 2-10 on the year. All right, and Oklahoma is lining up for a field goal that can tie the game with Bama. So Oklahoma ties it up with a field goal, so it's 3-3 with 8:14 left until halftime. I will probably take a little bit of a break when Auburn goes to halftime for a little bit. But what I'll do while I am in that break, I'll play a little, an interview I did earlier in the week for you guys. And that'll give me the opportunity to switch this Notre Dame Army game to the LSU Vanderbilt game. All right, so obviously they're reviewing the play. That short yardage play. See if I think A&M got it. I think they barely got it. Yeah, they gave it to them. All right. The second and goal for the Auburn Tigers. I meant Texas A&M. Trying to stop Texas A&M is Auburn. So, all right, so A&M's probably about the 2 or the 3 yard line now. So let's see if Auburn can pull off a goal line stand. But you got to think this is 2 plays here for A&M. About 4.5 minutes left until halftime. Looks like Notre Dame is about to add on to the lead against Army. They're kicking up the kick a field goal. So this could be 31-7 halftime. It's very, outside of the turnovers, ball just came loose. Did Auburn just get a fumble? Because there was a struggle at the goal line to get in the end zone for the A&M running back. Couldn't see which one it was. I think he scored, and then the ball came, and then when he hit the ground, the ball came out. I think that's the Texas A&M score. It looked like he'd reached the ball over and across the plane. I think that they're going to review this, but this is going to be a touchdown. Going to be a touchdown, Texas A&M. See, they're showing it again. Did he get the ball over the line? Yeah, that's got to be a touchdown. I mean, they're showing it for a wider shot. I mean, he didn't get it over by a whole lot, but I think that's a touchdown. So, all right, we've got 2 viewers here with us. Again, if you have a comment or a question or anything like that, just feel free to post it in the comments. I will respond to it, and I'll put your question up on screen too. Yeah, so that was a touchdown. I figured out something. Now, so 4:13 until halftime. So if you're Auburn, you look at it from this standpoint. Okay, there's enough time for you to go down and score, but you also don't want to turn around quick 3 and out and give A&M the opportunity or momentum to go down there and score because A&M will receive the ball first to start the second half. So you don't want to go 21-14 at halftime, and then A&M's got momentum going to the locker room, all that stuff. And then they get the ball first, and then they get the opportunity to tie the game because then the momentum is completely flipped. That's why I was like easy to get excited about the 21-0 start for Auburn, but it was early. And A&M, okay, they've got on the board now. So, they're – Auburn had – they had second and 19. And I still say it's just the soft coverage really hurt them. Yeah, Notre Dame's up 28-7 at halftime against Army. And then Auburn gets a touchback. I have flipped the iPad to Vanderbilt and LSU. All right, there's Jaquez busting for. He slipped. He slipped right before he was going to get the first down. All right, Alabama just caught Oklahoma offside. They took a shot to Ryan Williams. I think he was out of bounds on that one. And Jarquez Hunter picks up first down for Auburn, so they keep it going. And that's big. He did want a quick 3 and out. Obviously, still want to score. If you go at 28-7 going into halftime, I think any momentum A&M may have felt they had with that touchdown, you've really taken it back. You're an Auburn fan, too. You come out and win this game, you got to be mad because where was this on? And you actually saw this during the year, but not consistently. And then Auburn would just make mistakes, turnovers early in the year. That would cost them. Auburn should start the season 5-0. They shouldn't have lost any of those teams that lost 2 in the first 5 games when they're all with Jordan here. All right, Auburn Auburn, this is Hugh Freeze get too cute. You can tell Auburn was going for a flea flicker there because Peyton Thorne held his hands out like he was expecting the ball back. And you even saw Jarquez Hunter turn around. But I will say this about Jarquez Hunter. He did the right thing holding on to the ball. That was disaster waiting to happen if he tried to pitch it back to Peyton Thorne because he was getting hit as he would have been doing. It's just, hey, secure the ball, 2nd and 13. All right, Thorne, disaster. So, and that's a sign. It's a whole thing there where Hugh Freeze getting too cute with it, just on the flea flicker attempt. You may have had something going with a run game, and then you go and do that stuff. See, Peyton Thorne probably could have picked up more yardage on that play had he just went more ahead on that. But it is what it is. So you're Auburn, you're 3rd and 15. So, and A&M has started calling timeouts. Auburn is 3-3 on 3rd down, so let's see what happens here. Is A&M showing blitz? All right, and that was. All right, they called that up. Yeah, A&M got some early pressure. LSU and Vanderbilt are tied up at 7. Those are some ugly LSU jerseys, by the way. So okay, so Auburn's having the punt. Now you need to pin them deep here for Auburn. They did. That was a horrible punt. This has been a bad. I mean, all A&M's got the ball in their midfield. So again, here's where you're at. Now Auburn in a situation where they can give another touchdown, be 21-14 going into halftime, and then A&M has got all kinds of momentum. So last couple of plays have not been great for Auburn. It's like when it's going good for them. When it goes bad, it goes bad. Auburn's probably going to have to get a turnover because I mean A&M has moved the ball throughout the whole game. Just they've made mistakes, and there he goes again. Reed, the quarterback for A&M. All right, so then that should send us to the 2-minute timeout. Yeah, so Auburn got the 21-0 lead, but now they're in danger of getting it cut to just one score. And again, A&M gets the ball first to start the second half. Looking at the game so far, Peyton Thorne is 7-9 for 190, 2 touchdowns. Jarquez Hunter he's got 33 yards off 10 carries, and then Cam Coleman, 4 catches for 112 yards, 2 touchdowns. So looking at the other side, Marcel Reed, he's 9-14, 88, did throw out 1 interception. He's their leading rusher with 46 yards. Again, leave a comment. I'll read them on here on the stream. Alabama and Oklahoma is tied up at 3 still. So keep an eye on what's going on with that one. And then LSU and Vanderbilt are still tied up at 7. Again, I am not a fan of those LSU jerseys. The white helmets, when have we ever seen LSU wear yellow? Good gracious. People that know me know I'm not a big alternate jersey guy. I'm like, wear your normal jerseys. Just stay with that. This is one of them situations. I would rather just traditional purple, or they would have wore their whites, but not this mess. Oklahoma has made it past the 50, so under 4 minutes left in the first half, they are moving the ball. What are you guys thinking? What are your thoughts on college football today? Let me know. Comment below. We'll pop it on the screen. All right, got a comment on my Indiana question. My cousin Jennifer Grogan says, "Yes, Indiana should drop out of top 12." So short and sweet to the point. Appreciate that. Thank you for commenting on the post. I put a Twitter poll up too on that. Right now, it's a no. It should not be out top top 12. Looks like A&M's moving the ball once again. They have a first down. Auburn just needs a turnover. There's a flag on the play. Now, that play there, I think they could have got the A&M receiver for interference. So Auburn is looking at 2nd and 15. A&M gotta hold them here for Auburn. You just cannot give up any kind of momentum going into the locker room. If again, I've said this a couple times on the stream here in the last few minutes, you cannot let A&M go down there, score a touchdown, and get the same 21-14 going into halftime. You just cannot do it. So now it's 3rd and 15. All right, they got pressure. They got him. Auburn got a sack. Kelter Falk was there. Kelter's just a beast. He's just a beast on that side of the ball. All right, so that's 4th down. Obviously, a punting situation for A&M. A minute 16 left till halftime. So that's what Auburn needed to do. You gave up that touchdown. You had to stop them here, and you did. That was important. All right, so Auburn's going to be pinned down at the 1-yard line. So don't get cute. Just run. Look, A&M has 1 timeout left. Just run this clock out. Get the halftime. You're up 21-7. You got a minute and a half until halftime with Oklahoma and Alabama. Oklahoma's moving the ball once again. All right, so you just got to protect the ball here if you're Auburn. All right, so Auburn ran a play. Okay, A&M called their last time out. All right, 45 seconds until halftime. Oklahoma picked up another first down. Jackson Arnold with the run there. So it looks like both these games are going to link up where they both go to halftime at the same time. So that is very good news. And I know somebody's going to say, Phil, will you stay still in your chair? All right, Jarquez picked up a good amount of yards. Auburn, he ain't worried about scoring here. Just running the clock out. And Oklahoma just scored. Missed that by what the Auburn was doing. Xavier Robinson with an 18-yard rushing touchdown for Oklahoma. So now they're up 9-3. So they should have a halftime lead. Go. Let's see. Oh man, that was a tremendous dive to get the ball over for him. All right, Auburn picked up the first down, and that should take you into halftime. Jacksonville State picked up a 21-11 win over Sam Houston today. Can y'all believe the season's almost over? It's just wild. It just feel like it just started. Yeah, Auburn is going into the locker room. Hugh Freeze and gang with a 21-7 lead at halftime. Extra points good for Oklahoma. They are now at 10-3. I think it's safe to say Oklahoma is going to continue and they'll have that lead. And looks like we don't have anybody checking in on us right now on the stream anyway. So here's what we're going to do as we head into these games that are halftime. I am going to replay my interview I had with 1988 All-American Georgia tight end George Sadowski from this past week. Okay, we did talk a little bit the Georgia-Tennessee game, but we also talked just about Georgia in general. So I'm going to take about a minute and a half commercial break. Yes, we have commercials. And then I'm going to replay that conversation. And then when that's done, I'll be back on here to talk about the second half of these games. Because, I mean, unless something crazy happens here on the kickoff with Alabama and Oklahoma, we should be setting in for a 10-3 halftime score on that one. So, again, we are going to take that break and be right back here on the live edition of the Phillip Jordan Show, talking all things college football with you.
96.9 The Legend is your connection to classic country legends. But Digio Strategies has other options too. News Talk 103.9 is your source for America's top news and entertainment shows, like Rick and Bubba in the morning, Glenn Beck from 9 till 11 a.m., and Clay Travis and Buck Sexton middays from 11 a.m. till 2 p.m. Sean Hannity, Lars Larson, Ben Shapiro, Matt Walsh, and others fill your day with the latest news and views from America's top conservative voices. America at Night and Coast to Coast AM keep you company and connected throughout the night. Plus, Fox News, the Alabama Radio Network, and Wiregrass Daily News keep you informed with national, international, state, and local news. And with more musical choices like All the Hits 106.7 KMX, Today's Country 95.5 WTVY, and Music 107.7, Digio Strategies gives you more choices and more variety. Listen on air, online, and on our apps. 96.9 The Legend is just the beginning.
Want to win tickets to this year's Iron Bowl? Enter now for a chance to score a pair of tickets to the Iron Bowl between Auburn and Alabama. Will Auburn salvage their season? Will Kalen DeBoer start 1-0 in the legendary rivalry? Don't miss a chance to see this legendary showdown. Head over to 955WTVY.com, 969thelegend.com, or 1067KMX.com to find out how to enter the contest. Now, back to the show. Everybody, my first guest this week on the Phillip Jordan podcast is a friend of the show, someone I always look forward to talking with, and that is Troy Sadowski. He was 1988 All-American tight end for the Georgia Bulldogs and spent 10 years in the National Football League, and I have a lot of thoughts on the Georgia Bulldogs for this year. But, Troy, I always appreciate you coming on the show and talking football with you.
Well, I appreciate you remembering me and including me. It makes an old man feel special.
Hey, I'm always glad to have you on because, you hear me rant and rave about the sport, and know what I did not actually play between the white lines. So, bring you on as they can hear a real expert talk about the sport.
It's been a tough couple of weeks with the struggles that Georgia's had all year, and you read all these people's posts and stuff, and it's like the fair weather fan. It's as long as Georgia's winning and everybody's putting up good numbers, they're fantastic fans. But you let a little something happen, a little adversity, and they just want to bail.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What was your feeling just for the team going into the Tennessee game? Because going in, the Ole Miss loss, and look, that was a bad loss. It did not look good in the 28-10 loss. Their offensive line was horrible. So I think there probably was a lot of people that were down on Georgia going in. I felt like Georgia was going to beat Tennessee. That was just a feeling I had returning home. Kirby would get the team as right as he can get them during the week. But what was kind of like your feeling going into the Tennessee game?
Well, the Mississippi loss was really difficult to watch. And I think that's one of the things is that I know just enough about football to be dangerous, and it also can be very frustrating because when you see things that other people don't see, and it really is frustrating for me. And I've got to check myself to make sure that I don't bash, because in this day and age, social media, these kids read these things, and if you sit there and you lay a huge post about Carson Beck and what he has done and hasn't done, that's probably going to get around to him at some point. I hope that these kids don't read these things, but if they do, that's not good to have all that garbage pin up in your head, and trying to go in week after week and, put together a game plan and, participate and be, going there with a clear mind. It can be difficult, but I was a little nervous because Tennessee's been playing pretty well all year long. They got a young, fresh, hip quarterback that everybody is jumping on his bandwagon. But Carson Beck is Carson Beck. And you got to stand by him. I mean, that's one of the things that Kirby said, hey, this is our quarterback, and we are going to stand by him. We're not going to switch and do this, that, or the other. He is our quarterback, and we're going to stick by him. I'm really glad they did because he put up, fantastic numbers. 347 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's not too shabby.
Yeah, it's not. And, going through the game, too, watching it, I was kind of interested in how Georgia was going to start out. And then Tennessee goes up 10-0. Georgia offense didn't move the ball early on in the game. It felt like, and get your thoughts on this, that run he had where he kind of lowered his shoulder and he kind of initiated some contact. He does what everybody does, signal first down and everything. That seemed to kind of like energize the team at that point, and the offense really took off.
It did, and it really relayed to everybody that, he's in this. We've got this. I've got this team. It's his team. I mean, he's the one that has the wheel and the gas pedal, and he's the one that controls that. The thing that is concerning to me is not Carson Beck. It's the inconsistent rushing attack. We need to run the football, and we really haven't done that on a consistent basis. I mean, we had 31 carries for 106 yards. The run game sets up the pass game, and that's something that these young running backs and things, because that's basically what we're down to, is a lot of young guys, and they're going to have to pull the load.
Yeah, Frazier had a decent game. I mean, 68 yards, had 1 touchdown. I know I think it's had to be disappointing for Georgia fans and the staff and everybody involved that Trevor Etienne has not been more of a factor. I mean, injuries. I mean, he didn't play the first game. And all, it's just he's been in and out of the lineup. I mean, he's a really good player, both as a rusher, and he can also come out of the backfield as a receiver. But kind of not having that element with him, just inconsistently not in the lineup, hasn't helped things.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It's hard to put together, an explosive attack when they're running these guys in and out. I mean, maybe we need to give Nate Frazier a little bit more carries, and he did. I mean, 19 carries, 68 yards, touchdown, 3.6. I mean, we'd like to see that average, a little bit higher, and I think that's going to come with playing and the experience. I mean, I remember how overwhelming, when as a redshirt freshman starting at tight end, it was like, oh my gosh, I'm walking up, we're playing Alabama on, I think it was like Labor Day night, and we're in Athens, and I'm looking across at, 3-time All-American Cornelius Bennett is the first guy that I'm going up against. And, it was very intimidating, and I'm sure that it can be the same way. I mean, this is SEC football. I mean, it's even it's SEC football on steroids now that we've got Oklahoma and all these other Texas, these other teams that are coming in. I mean, this is big boy football.
It is, and the conference is really intriguing now that, they eliminated the division, so you don't have East and West anymore, and it's just like so many teams at the top, too. You have Texas sitting there with the 1 loss, and you got the A&Ms, you got Alabama, you got Georgia, you got Ole Miss. There's like a big group of teams at the top, and we're still trying to figure out who's going to be playing in Atlanta in 2 to 3 weeks.
Oh, exactly. And there's still some big games. I mean, on the national stage as well. I mean, you got a South Carolina team that's really playing well. Mm-hmm. And then they're going to help, dictate, what happens with Clemson. They're going to have to face them. Kind of Clemson's still got a good ball team. There's just a lot of good programs that are around. I think this. I used to think that the NIL and transfer portal was not going to be a good thing. I still have my questions and doubts about things, but it really has spreaded the talent across the country.
Yeah, I'm glad you bring South Carolina. I still say that team is a few plays away from only having one loss because they had opportunities against Alabama. They just didn't execute some things toward the end against them. And then the LSU game, there may have been some calls that went against them in that one, and the kicker missed a field goal there at the end. I mean, so it's just with what Beamer's done with them, I mean, you're right, because that's a team that could be, if they had only one loss, we would be talking about them playing for the championship and being in the playoffs. So it's just it's been a wild season for the conference.
Well, it's not over.
No, it's not. It's amazing what could happen in these next 2 weeks. I mean, looking ahead with that. So how much did it warm your heart to see the performance that the tight ends, including Oscar Delp, had? He had a big game, 4 catches, 56 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
He did. All 3 of them had good games, and that was one of the things I actually Brock Bowers is somebody that I will text, and I texted him. We were talking. He said, "Yeah." He said the boys were balling this weekend. So not only was they balling, he was balling too. And I saw some videos, highlights of him, where he had like 13 catches.
Yeah, he had a big game. I was happy too about that. He's on my fantasy team, so I was very appreciative of his performance this weekend.
He's a good fantasy pick for a tight end. And did you see him bust out into the Trump dance?
I did see that. I must have missed that part, but yeah, I saw. I kept getting alerts on my phone that he was making some big plays for the Raiders, and for my fantasy team, of course, which is more important than what he did for the Raiders. But
yeah, I'm thankful that he thinks enough of me he will respond to my text messages and things, and he's a man of few words, very quiet, but he seems to have found a spot in his world to keep Troy Sadowski right there. So I think that's pretty neat.
Yeah, it was a big day for the tight end. Like you said, Oscar Delp obviously is the kind of one that had the touchdowns, but the other guys played well. And that kind of leads me into the wide receivers. I think, we talked about, inconsistency maybe with Georgia offensively this year. Some struggles with Carson Beck, but, some of that's on these receivers because Arian Smith and Dominic Lovett are both talented receivers and talented enough that they could play on Sundays, but the drops have really been an issue with them. And it seems like sometimes they don't get separation when maybe they should, but the receiver position, what's kind of like been your thoughts on that group this year?
Well, I mean, it's a lot about route running, but you can run the greatest routes, and you got to catch the football, and that's one of the things. I think I have read a stat that as of now, our wide receivers have more drops than any other program in the country, and people want to sit there and say, "Well, Carson Beck this, Carson Beck that." Well, how about be the quarterback and they're dropping every other ball? That affects the quarterback, and in his mind, he's like, oh my gosh, is this guy going to catch the ball if I throw it his way? So, I mean, that trickles down to everybody. It's the offensive line. If the offensive line can't keep Carson off his back, it's going to be a long day. These things need to be ironed out, and they should have been ironed out this deep into the season and the schedule, because we only got 2 more games regular season, and after that, it's time. I mean, SEC championship, and then the college football playoffs. First time it's ever happened. Are we going to make it? Where are we going to be? Who are we going to play? But these things have to get ironed out. If you need to stay after practice on the jugs machine and catch 100 footballs, do it. You're getting an education, but your job is Georgia football. Mm-hmm. And your job is to catch that football when it's coming your way. And some of them have just been some silly drops. It's just lack of concentration. Looking the football in. I mean, get back to the basics and how these things are supposed to be done, and that's what they need to do.
Also, I don't want to ignore the defense in our conversation here, and the defense has been pretty solid, I think, most of the way. I mean, the Texas game, look, Carson Beck, that was a game with 2 or 3 interceptions, but that defense won that game. I mean, that defense was giving Quinn Ewers fits the whole game. That's why Sark had to go to Arch, because Arch could run a little bit, and they played well against Cincinnati. I mean, Dylan Sampson had his yardage, but I mean, he's leading rusher SEC. You feel like every week he's going to get at least 100 yards when he comes out on the field. But what's kind of just been your overall take on how the defense has performed, against Tennessee, but overall on the year?
Well, I mean, it's the defensive backs have been suspect at times, but there's a young group that has been playing and they've been rotating. We really, there's been some injuries where players haven't been full speed, and that's tough to go out there and put pressure on a quarterback when your ankle's hurting. So I do understand that, but I've always told, if somebody has an injury, a boo-boo, whatever it is, next man up. It's your opportunity to show what you've got. And that's what these young kids need to do. They need to get out there and show. When they have that opportunity, you got to show up and you got to play, and you got to play at a high level. This is Southeastern Conference, the University of Georgia, Alabama. I mean, you're here with the big boys. It's time to play like a big boy. So I think our defense, when they have to, they bow up and they stiffen their neck, and they've gotten the job done. And that's what they did the other day. I mean, the second half, they played extremely well. The thing that is amazing to me, Phillip, we still haven't played a complete game. Mm-hmm. And we've showed greatness and sparks throughout, but we still have not. We've started out slow on several games. We've hit lulls in the first half and the second half. We still haven't played that complete game. It's going to be scary if these guys do come out and play complete game. College football playoffs, it'll be done. They'll run right through it.
Yeah, because Vegas looking right now, I mean, things could change up with the SEC, but, with Georgia, they're completely SEC. So they may be not in Atlanta playing SEC championship game, but that actually may be a good thing, because now we may see Athens, Georgia host a playoff game, which would be, I know, a very exciting thing there in Athens for all of them there. So that's kind of like an interesting thing moving forward, especially when they got, looking at the rest of the games, you got UMass, so, you expect, okay, a dominant performance, they should take care of business. Georgia Tech's kind of like, they shouldn't beat Georgia. I'm not even hinting at that, but they're kind of an interesting team. I saw what they did against Miami. When they get the running game going, they're a well-coached team over there, so that's not a team to look past, I think, down the road with Georgia.
Yeah, absolutely not. Yeah, they're a formidable opponent, and the good thing is that we have them at home, correct?
Yeah, I
think we do. We have. How about that? 37 days away from Athens. That was a little statistic that some people overlooked. Other people, pointed to that. That's tough. I mean, to go on the road and play all these road games, where they had to go, that's tough. I mean, a lot of people may have looked at the schedule and said that, we could easily have 3-4 losses. And I think they went on the road and they held their own, with the Alabama and Ole Miss. I mean, Ole Miss has got a good football team. Mm-hmm. They put together a pretty good defense.
This is Jerry Coleman, play-by-play voice of the Dothan High Wolves on 96.9 The Legend, and you're tuned into the Phillip Jordan Podcast.
All right, everybody, welcome back in. Of course, if you stayed with us, that was an interview from this week from Troy Sadowski. Played for Georgia, 1980, All-American tight end. Played 10 years in the National Football League. So we're back. We're about to get started with the second half between Auburn and Texas A&M. Alabama, Oklahoma still at halftime. The LSU Vanderbilt game still at halftime as well. So we're going to get back into it. Of course, if you have a comment or anything like that, just, post down below. Be glad to talk to you. And A&M gets the ball first to start the second half. It's going to be big for Auburn here to get a stop because it's like I kept saying toward the end of the first half. You don't want to give the team any momentum. They get within a score, then it's different. Big thing here. You got to stop. LSU is 14-7 at halftime over Vanderbilt. All right, now it looks like Alabama and Oklahoma are about to get started up in the second half as well. So 2nd and 9, Auburn defense is facing. Oklahoma has 242 total yards, 205 rushing, but they've only got 10 points. They've really just gotten their own way. All right, so now we're looking at A&M got the ball about the 45-yard line, so a big 3rd and 1 coming up for the Aggies now, 21-7. And A&M gets the first down. So their drive continues it. And I said this all throughout the first half. A&M has moved the ball on Auburn. Auburn's had trouble time keeping Marcel Reed in the pocket, the quarterback for A&M. Again, it's not been a great defense performance by Auburn. I mean, they're 21-7. I mean, they made stops when they had to. Missed field goal first drive. They did get the interception. Alabama's trying to move the ball. Alabama had under 100, 100. Oh, a turnover for Alabama. Oklahoma bringing it back. I was kind of looking over what was going on with Auburn. A&M with another first down. It was just a bad throw. Tried to throw a wide receiver screen, and Oklahoma read it all the way. And, interception. So now they're in business. Now, Alabama's 2 losses were on the road. We do remember that. David Schultz liked the stream. Thank you, David, host of Locked On Sunbelt. One of the best guys in the business. So let's see what Oklahoma's going to do. And A&M has made their way inside the red zone. So Auburn's going to get some momentum. And Oklahoma's down to the 4-yard line. Look, they are first and goal. And A&M just scored a touchdown. Now this thing's about to be 21-14 if they made the extra point. So Noah Thomas with the touchdown for A&M on the touchdown pass. I kind of go back to that series Auburn had. They would when they tried to do that flea flicker, it didn't work out for them. I think that's going to come back to bite them. And Auburn got a penalty on the match of the play. All right, yeah, so it's 21-14. A&M now trails. And Xavier Robinson gets another touchdown for Oklahoma. They now have a 16-3 lead over Alabama. Just thinking about it, just let's say if this lead holds for Oklahoma and they win this game. So we saw Ole Miss go down today. So we fear Ole Miss Alabama be out with 3 losses. So what SEC teams would you put in there? Obviously Texas, Georgia. They take against Georgia Tech. Tennessee is probably a good lock in there. Now, if A&M comes back and wins this, but the thing about it, they play Texas next week. So how does that work out? I tell you, if we put a 3-loss team in there, South Carolina would be it. All right, we do have somebody in the thing. So if you have a comment for the show, please post it in there. I will be happy to respond to your question. Just post it in the comment section and I will discuss it. So Auburn is. It's going to be a big series for Auburn coming up into this drive. They were up 21-0. Now it's 21-14. So now they need to Auburn needs to score a touchdown here. They need to go back down and score a touchdown, take the momentum back. Because I just fear for Auburn that if A&M gets the ball back and it's 21-14, A&M is going to go down there and score a touchdown and tie the game at 21. I feel the momentum is right now on the side of the Aggies. All right, they faked it to Jarquez and then went deep to Lambert Smith, and it did not work out. Oh, he was holding. There should have been a penalty call on that play. The defensive back was holding Lambert Smith, without a doubt. Big series for Alabama now, 17-3. They've got to put something together here. I think if we don't get a comment on this drive for Auburn, I'm going to call tonight on the live stream. It's been over an hour since we got a comment last, so we may punt early on this one. And Auburn got stopped. So yeah, it's 4-1 for Auburn. Obviously, you're going to punt here. I mean, you wouldn't dare go for it if you freeze, would you? And yeah, A&M's got a good field position. I would have been shocked A&M goes out here and scores on this one. All right, so it's been over an hour since we last got a comment in the discussion. We were going to go throughout the whole game, but the lack of comments from people jumping in and out, I think we're just going to shut it down for the night. I'm going to kick back and just enjoy the rest of these games tonight. Maybe to check out the Wiregrass High School Football Report on Monday morning. I'll recap all the high school football stuff. Tuesday night, we'll be live responding to the latest college football playoff rankings. And on Friday, I plan on having an Iron Bowl preview podcast come out. So, again, the plan was to go through the games, but just, lack of engagement, lack of people throwing comments in here during the game. I'm just going to call it a night on the live stream. I do appreciate everybody that did check out the show. Everybody has a great rest of your night.